All right, so we're gonna get started here on the Good Podcast. Welcome back, everybody, ladies and gents. Start with the guys on audio. We got the Schwab,
What's up?
Shane,
What's good?
and then on video, got some bullshit on this shirt there. PJ
Sir, can y'all see me? I can't fucking tell.
and my boy So Icy DJ.
Oh man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it
So
sounded just sound the guy from
we were
West
just
Side.
talking NBA, so let's continue the conversation. Shane, what was you were saying about the Bulls being better than the Nets?
I said the Bulls are a better team than the Nets right now. They are. They just are. I don't know if like people are just not accepting that right now, but James Harden is starting to lose it a bit. We talked about this last year that it was when teams were not sure if they wanted to trade for Harden, we said eventually this guy's just he's going to lose it before some of the other greats in the league right now. And I think if you look at the way the game is being officiated now, and they took away that bullshit that he's done his whole career and they're not calling it, that's a huge negative towards his game. Like that hurts him big time. And then you got the lunatic anti-vaxxer that's not going to come back. And like, what else do you have? Like who else you relying on besides KD? I mean, Patty Mills, nice player. Like you really relying on LaMarcus Aldridge and Blake Griffin? Like, are these, you know what I'm saying? Like, is this a team that like, outside of KD is really like that worrisome? To me, they're not.
Well, Marcus playing good basketball.
And you look at the Bulls, man, like we talked about this. I said it the day it happened. And like everybody talked about these, the moves with Lonzo and DeRozan, obviously. I said the most underrated signing of the entire offseason, and we're going to get to the Lakers in a minute, but the biggest mistake the Lakers made and the Bulls' biggest gain was picking up Alex Caruso. Like that, like him and Lonzo as a defensive backcourt is a problem. Like they're watch Caruso play. I mean, that was like easily the most underrated pickup of the entire offseason. He complements everything the Bulls want to do so well. And it's a very good starting five. They're well coached. They got some guys like Io that have been bright spots that can score off the bench. I mean, this is a team that's only going to get better. And like I'm not even a Bulls homer like that. Like I've never even been a Bulls fan, but like I was thinking before the season this is a 4 or 5 seed. I think they can definitely win the East.
Either your thoughts on the Bulls?
I'm not ready to go that far just yet.
Hold on,
He said DJ.
I thought he said anyone else.
Listen, motherfucker, I said DJ.
So like Shane really just said that they could win the East. Like I think that'd be tough, but I mean, of course, being a fan, I would love to see that happen. But yeah, like right now they 7-3, and they do got a really good team. I didn't know that it was going to like work in jail this fast. And then like some of like the national media guys who was doing all that talking, because nobody really like was talking about them. Like now they're kind of like, oh well, maybe we should pay attention to them. And so like it'll be good to see. They got a tough stretch coming up. Vooch is out for most of that stretch because of COVID. And so like it's gonna be interesting to see what they do. But I really like what they're doing. And I won't even use this like tough stretch against them really, because they already didn't beat like all these playoff teams. One, and then two, like they still got a jail. Like we watching only like bits and pieces of like with the team that they are going to be right now. The thing that they do well is defend, and they play with a lot of effort. They just got to do that for like the entire game, because the games that they actually lost, they got off to real slow starts, and then they'll mess around and have a 38-point fourth quarter, and then they'll just fall shorter or something stupid like that. Now, that worked against the Celtics, but that didn't work against, the 76ers or the Knicks or whoever else. And so, They just gotta play with that same type of energy and effort throughout the whole time. But yeah, I really do like that team, and I like what they doing.
Zach, like Schwab, I'll let you go in 1 second, but like Zach LaVine is a superstar, and this is the first time in his career.
Ooh.
Wait a minute.
We're there. We're there. Zach
Wait a
LaVine.
minute.
We're there, and this is the first time in his entire career that he's actually had a team around him,
I agree with that part.
and it's
Mhm.
showing. Like that's like it's allowing him to be even better. And you got, I mean, this is just like this is like the perfect group of guys you could have brought together to gel and like really be like an instant contender.
Well, you say you ain't agree with the Bulls being better than the Nets just yet. Was that what you were saying?
No, I don't agree with them being like winning the East just yet.
Finals champs.
But I do think I don't think it's that crazy to say that they're a better total team than the Nets right now. The one thing I will say I was totally wrong about the DeRozan signing. He has been way better than I expected.
Same, agreed. Same here.
I think that's everybody, man.
I was wrong. I like that. I was skeptical about it. I was like, all right, I like Lonzo. I like Caruso, obviously, but
all right.
Rosen was like, eh.
He's a guy. He'll contribute, but I didn't expect him doing this. But if he can keep this up, then I think we have to talk about them being a legit threat to win the East. But until we see him do that, like, ask me again about it at the All-Star break. If he's still putting up these kind of numbers, yeah, full speed ahead, they can do it. Vooch hasn't played to the level that we need from him just yet. And is it an issue of he's just not fitting in the system because he doesn't need to be the guy here? Or is it just an issue of he's just got to find his role and he's just got to learn how to mesh with everyone else?
Neither one. Like, he be out there blowing layups. He out there missing 2-foot shots. He gets so many open shots and he just out there breaking them. So it's neither one. It's him.
Right.
It's him.
And that's
it's literally
fine.
him.
And that's fine. Like that's a good point though. You both make because like they're playing this well and he hasn't even come close to hitting his stride yet.
No.
And they don't have Kobe White yet and Paul's out. So I think the one thing they need is a legit 4. I don't know where that comes from though.
Oh. PJ, what you think, man? Bulls better than Nets. Any takes about the Bulls? We just heard Zach LaVine is a superstar. How you feel about that?
He's
the overreactions. It's 11 games in. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. You knew when they got Lonzo, you knew that was going to open DeRozan and LaVine up a little bit more. They pace the way they play. They're exciting. I mean, I like watching them. I like watching Charlotte. There's a few other teams in the league. I like watching Houston, as trash as they are. But Chicago, probably the most exciting team in the league. Regardless of the effort they're gonna put out, they at least exciting to watch. As far as a title contender, like let's scale that back a little bit. Milwaukee's still out there, Miami, Nets. I mean, they might be it's early. I mean, shit. The Wizards are first in the East right now. Are they a contender or no? Hell no. Let's be real. So it's early. They are exciting. Let's focus on that point. Let's get to All-Star break, and then we start taking them a little bit more serious.
That's kind of where I'm at too, where it's like, how many years of it? I mean, really, since Rose got hurt the first time, like Chicago Bulls basketball has been like, okay, when does the bad thing happen? Like, if something's going good, something bad's about to happen.
Right, obviously, but remember
last
year when Kyrie and Harden went to the Nets, the league, it was over, right? The league, the Nets were about to go on this roll. They're about to run everybody. Well, guess what? That's not how this works, because those guys have been guys that have failed to stay healthy for entire seasons, right? So, this idea that like the Nets are like some immortal team because they have Kevin Durant and James Harden is absurd. And we're watching the decline of James Harden.
But we never said that before. that sentiment wasn't stated before Kyrie got hurt. If Kyrie don't get hurt, they win the championship, right or wrong.
Well, that's my point. But Kyrie, he didn't stay healthy. Those guys do not stay healthy. Like you are to assume that, and now like he's obviously not coming back because he's afraid of putting a little needle in his arm. But we keep talking about the Nets. Well, until I actually see the Nets stay healthy through June and beat a Western Conference team, then I don't really care about like projecting them because we haven't seen it yet.
No, but they got the best player in the world, and in that instance, you have to take them serious.
You know what? There's a guy in Golden State that might have that crown. I don't know, man. You watching what they're doing right now? Like that's the.
Well, people is crazy to write them off. It's gonna get ugly when Clay get back. It's gonna get ugly.
That's without Clay.
Yeah, and Wise.
Yeah, so I mean back to the Bull. Like the Lakers made a huge mistake letting Caruso walk. And the Bulls, that was a great pickup. I know like Bleacher Report made all these corny videos about him last year. And it's I get why people can get annoyed with the card, but that dude can play.
He's a mean player. He's one of mean players.
But he
can play, but the Lakers couldn't afford him. Caruso got his ring. He was already I think he was undrafted. I mean, he had to go get his bag.
So the Lakers couldn't afford him, but they brought in Russell Westbrook.
No, they could afford him.
If you could go right now,
they could afford him
right
now. He ain't a player.
Who would you rather have? Russell Westbrook. Who would you rather have? Russell Westbrook or Alex Caruso? It's not even close.
Wait a minute, what?
Who would you rather have? Russell Westbrook or Alex Caruso?
For the money each one of them is making.
It's Caruso. It's Caruso. It's not even close.
So mute your ass. All right, so we're gonna move on. Talk some more NBA. Now Shane did bring up Steph Curry. I do want to know about y'all way too early hot takes, MVP talks. I want one fire ass take, and I'm gonna start with mine. Now, first off, I did say I thought the Bulls could be Eastern Conference finalists. I didn't think they'd win the East or a championship, but they played a lot better, a hell of a lot better than I thought they would. So just want to put that out there. My hot take is Ja Morant will finish at least top 3 in MVP voting. Ja Morant damn near top 5 to me right now. Can y'all tell me anything that Ja Morant can't do on the court? Anything. Do y'all watch Grizzlies games?
He tough.
Because if y'all watch that shit like I watch, like I've been seeing.
He worked on this game.
Yeah, unfortunately, I remember the debate. I wouldn't say it was a debate, but it was somewhat of a, some people had the takes of I'd take Morant over Zion. And unfortunately for Duke fans like me and Mike, Zion actually starting to look like one of our podcast members. And that's not a compliment. So it's looking like that might have been it's looking like that might have been a big mistake.
I'm saying you can say whatever you want to say the rest of the night. I promise you I ain't gonna mute you again. You back good. That was funny. Yeah, I mean shit. I don't know what's up with Zion, man. When he play, he effective as hell, but he don't play. So
man,
clearly, I mean, I don't know. Like I know they found Ja Morant in like some like auxiliary gym hooping like during an AAU tournament or something. And he ended up at Murray State. Like I don't know. He 22 and like this might be Ja Morant league in like 2-3 years.
Man,
he's putting that shit out there right now. He's that good.
His skill set's like everything you want in a guard in today's game, right? He's fast, he's explosive, he can defend. I mean, he really is like when Westbrook was younger, like for OKC Westbrook, but
at his
but
best, but he shoot better. He can get to the basket like Iverson. He can get to the basket like Iverson.
He's more controlled with a better IQ.
Yeah, man. There's like you said, there's nothing to like about his game.
So I don't know anything he can't do on the court because he assists well. He gets after rebounds. He defend pretty good, and he got a little bit bigger. And it's like he can shoot. Like he can do everything. So that's my take, y'all. Top 3 MVP voting, Ja Morant this year. Who got some fire next? I need some hot shit.
I'll get one if you'd like. and I don't think
Please.
it's too much of a surprise. The Nets will not make the Eastern Conference Finals.
What are some teams that you think will make it?
The Bulls and the Bucks.
That's who I low key
Wow.
kind of had too, because I feel like
Yeah,
I don't know, Mike Stradamus, the Nets and the Bucks are meeting the semis and knock one each other off.
yeah,
I thought the Hawks would be back, but they looking like the Atlanta Hawks, how they supposed to look. So
and
No, he said that they gotta wait for the playoffs or whatever Trey Young said.
yes, that's the thing. Like the Bucks, they've kind of got off to the Bucks have got off to a little bit of a slow start. They kind of look sluggish. I mean, it's just championship hangover,
right?
right?
They hurt though. They guys ain't been playing.
Right. Holiday was hurt. They got
Middleton out now.
Yeah, they got
Yeah,
our
Middleton.
Grayson Allen over there getting what 15 a game. I just think Milwaukee's probably going to just coast through the regular season, and then we got to give them the benefit of the doubt, and they'll be right there again in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I'm
ain't no more early exits for Giannis. That shit over with.
I just think I'm just buying. I'm buying the possibility, I guess you could say, when it comes to the Bulls. Like I'm buying what I think their ceiling can be. Like I was talking to a friend about this the other day. I told him, and he kind of gave me a look. I said, "This is the best Bulls team since Jordan." And the first thing when you say that, the first thing somebody says, "Wait a minute, what about the Derrick Rose team?" And I said, my point is that they might not win as many regular season games as that Derrick Rose team, right? But there was always a ceiling on that team because of A, how Tibbs ran them into the ground, and B, because prime LeBron James played in the Eastern Conference, right?
There we go.
Like
That's the reason. That was the reason there.
Exactly.
That was just LeBron.
Yeah.
Right. And
they never really had like a number 2 scorer.
there was
Luol Deng. Are you serious?
but
Like a pure number 2 scorer. Like
Yeah.
Luol Deng.
it was a no.
No,
He's right.
No.
That was a legit thing.
Right, that's the problem.
Deng
Luol
was
Deng
a loser.
Luol Deng was an
Yeah.
all-star small forward in the NBA when you had that was like the best small forward. You had LeBron and Carmelo Anthony there. Luol Deng was like right there with them.
I mean, but Luol Deng is not getting you 20 a night in the playoffs.
Right.
And gotta and
Putting on
guarding.
like 17, 18, 19.
Man,
But they needed
putting up-
more. Like
He
like
put
they
up
needed-
Luol
they
Deng
needed-
put up like 20 something in the playoffs before. Go look
I
it
mean,
up.
Not consistent.
They
The
needed
thing
yeah,
was,
like he needed they needed
I
somebody
ain't here
like
for the bullshit. Fuck that.
can go give me a bucket. Like you're not doing clear outs for Luol Deng. Like
Why not?
because
You
you're not
serious?
doing it. You're not doing club. I love Luol Deng, 2-time All-Star, averaged like 19 during that time. But like he was a good product of their system. They needed another one-on-one player on that team because in the fourth quarter, all they would do is, hey, Bron, go trap Rose, give up the ball, and can't nobody else get a bucket. Nobody else on that team could get a bucket because they wasn't worried about nobody else. If Dang was that guy, they're not trapping Bron. Like I mean Rose.
You know what?
right.
We gonna
And then
table
that's the
this
thing, too,
because
it's
I
like,
want to know why all the Luol Deng hate. So check out Good If It Goes Jam. We're gonna ask
man.
DJ why all the
I
damn Luol Deng hate.
Luol
Fuck
Deng-
that.
joining
I'm
that
not
one.
one.
I don't.
We
I
gonna
don't.
table
reality
this
is,
shit.
situation-
Fuck that. Go get your.
I don't-
Go look at the numbers. I'm gonna come back with the numbers.
I'm joining that night.
the reality is, like,
But go ahead, Shane. I want you to finish that though. I want to talk about that.
Yeah,
This
I wanna
best
hop in
Bulls
here
team
real
since
quick.
Jordan.
that 2011 team, I think it was a better team than this one. But Shane's exactly right. They weren't getting by LeBron. I mean, the tragedy of all of it in regards to Derrick Rose's injury was like, if he stays healthy, there's a window there where he's coming into his own as like legit top 2-3 player in the league. I mean, that 2010-2011 season he had was just out of this world. Couple that with Jimmy Butler becoming that guy who could be that number 2, and the
You never know if
Larry
Jimmy
and
was
Curly
gonna be
in
there.
Miami starting to get old. Around 2014, there's a window there like they could have won one.
Yeah, but
No.
no.
LeBron was in the way. That shit wasn't happening, and that's for any other team in the East. Look at the DeMar DeRozan Raptors. They was right there every year, and
But that-
LeBron was in the way. He even said we didn't win because we don't have LeBron
No, what I'm
James.
saying is if Rose had stayed healthy. If Rose
That was a
stays healthy
loser
and
statement.
Jimmy Butler becomes the guy he becomes, Yeah, they're absolutely better than that fourth year of that Heat team where
Yeah, but
Bosh and Wade were getting
Jimmy
old.
Butler became the guy
Boy,
he
hell
became
no.
because Rose stayed hurt. He had a lot of opportunity. You don't know if you become that man with Rose being the player that he is. So you can't make these assumptions that this guy's going to become this guy playing
So
sidekick.
Mike, like to my point, like I don't know if they're going to win as like I don't think the Bulls are going to be the 1 seed. Okay, that Rose team was the 1 seed. I don't think this Bulls team is going to be the 1 seed. That's fine. Like I don't. You don't need to see them, on a back to back in middle of January, playing guys 40 minutes a night. Like you need to coast a little bit in today's NBA, right? And there's no LeBron James, there's no Miami Heat in this Eastern Conference. Like, yeah, everybody pretty much agrees that Milwaukee's probably the best, right? But I think they're beatable. I mean, like PJ is right when he says, the big if Kyrie didn't get hurt, if Harden didn't get hurt, like if we were to get a fully healthy Nets last year, Nets are winning that series and probably winning the ship, right? But
they're winning that series in 4. I mean, you remember game 1 and game 2?
Yeah, I agree. I'm just saying, like I think the opportunity is there for the Bulls team. Now things are going to have to bounce the right way. They are going to have to stay healthy. They're going to need a guy like Vooch to, their ceiling is going to revolve around, can a guy like Vooch be who they traded for? You know what I'm saying? Like, I agree with all that.
That's
what I'm worried about. I'm trying to see how he gonna fit because the wings, they doing their shit. Lonzo Ball is like, this is like a dream for him.
It's funny.
Bro, he getting shots. Like I
was down.
I watch almost every Bulls game. Like, he just missing shots. He's missing wide open shots. So he might shoot one game.
I'm on Vucevic, right?
Yeah, like he just blowing wide open shots. So like the fit and his chances is there, and then like that Bulls team is like really unselfish. So they don't really care like who is scoring. Like, bro, you got to make the shots when you have them because he's blowing open shots and he's not being as aggressive. They are giving the ball on the post. Nobody else is over there, and then he'll just throw it back out. Something stupid like that. That don't got nothing to do with the fit. Like, bro, you got a chance to go and score because they are running this play for you. And so once he started making his shots, because last season when he came to the Bulls, he still was averaging like 24 and 11, like just for the Bulls, and they were still trying to figure that out. So like now he's going to get more like single coverage, and then like they can't really like double him because now you got guys that's just shooting now. And so like he just gotta get out his own head and then just get into some type of rhythm because he's getting easy looks every game. I didn't see just about every game, and it's open shots, it's layups, it's bunnies, it's like 15 footers where nobody is really guarding them and he just missing them. And then he'll just step out and then what's been happening is that he been missing shots, but then he'll make a clutch 3 in the 4th. Like, that's been happening. And so, I don't know. He got to kind of just, like, get out his own head.
And all these things are correctable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
All right. I need to hear somebody else take. I need another fire-ass take. Go ahead, DJ.
Miles Bridges is going to win Most Improved Player. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go with that.
Any contention of that?
I think Tyrese Maxey will give him a run for his money on that one.
It's a couple guys.
I'm with
Are
you.
we discounting Jordan Poole?
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what Poole minutes look like when Clay get back.
Oh, I'm looking at Jalen Brunson myself. He a real deal point guard. I've been watching him since he's a Marion Catholic, and then won the championship at Villanova, and it's like they really like intentionally got him to fit the Mavs style of ball. So that's what I'm rolling with.
You know what's crazy?
I like
about
Miles
him?
Bridges though.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy about him? Like you, me, Mike, we big time college basketball fans, and it's every year or two you see like that senior player that just do their thing in college. They fall in the draft because they too slow, can't jump. There's a weakness to their game that causes them to fall, and then they get drafted by a team, and they end up making a solid contribution and have a decent career, and that's like written all over him. Like he gonna play for 14 years, 15 years. He might not ever make an all-star team, but he gonna win a championship with somebody at some point, being a good backup point guard.
I have a take. I have a rookie take. And I know we're 12 games into the season, but I felt like this before the draft. I'm going to stick with it now. The best rookie, and this isn't exactly a hot take, but the best rookie, and I don't even think it's going to be close 5-6 years from now, is going to be Mobley. That dude is.
Yeah.
That's your boy, DJ.
Huh?
Said that's your boy.
Dude.
No, I just thought that he was gonna be good, and like he went to the I think to the right team as far as like fit wise, because they started him and like Allen, so he don't really have to do nothing other than just be at this point just be like big, like because Allen can do everything else, but what is happening is that they both are like killing. Like that's the only reason why the Cavs got a really good record now, especially for them, is because, bro, like he just out there balling.
Yeah.
That's my hot take. I got Cleveland making the playoffs.
Oh,
Yeah,
I think they're gonna make the playoffs. I really do.
All right. I mean, I'm not. That's
yeah, that's hot for real.
dude. Mobley is really fucking good.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I was a big fan of Cunningham coming out of Oklahoma State, and then the latest I read from the Pistons reports were John Beilein told him to change his outside shooting stroke, and now he can't throw it in the water and get it wet. So, A+ work there, bud.
Did you watch him last night?
I did not see the game last night. No,
Yeah, he had 25 last night.
Yeah.
good for him. I mean that dead serious. Like I said, I liked him a lot coming out of college.
Yeah,
Really.
He started.
That was that
slow.
1-2 matchup too. So
He
Yeah,
started slow.
I
But he had 25
think
last
like Mobley. I think Mobley's like superstar. Like I think Cunningham and like Suggs and Green, like they're good players. Like I think they're gonna be fine. And I'm not gonna react like if a guy has a slow start as a rookie, it's fine. But like Mobley has like real potential.
Yeah,
he
I
fits
think so,
into that
too.
new kind of big, like that prototypical, like Bam. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he kind of like
exactly.
that kind of way. And
Yeah.
I think he for real. Yeah.
Yeah, I think him and Green for real.
You like
Yeah.
Jalen Green?
I love Jalen Green.
Fun to watch, man. Him and Porter together, they're fun to watch.
Like I said, Houston sucks,
Porter
but
is real.
I can sit down. They can sit down and watch a full game with them. They trash, but
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
they get up in court.
Like I looked at the full game highlights. I be looking at full game highlights for a lot of the games. I looked at the full game highlights of the Pistons Rockets. I ended up wanting to like watch that whole game though, because it ended up getting over 100 points per team. Like them games, them motherfuckers don't be scoring 100 points sometimes. That should be brutal to watch. But that was a decent, it was that 1-2 matchup. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
And then they got beef too. Since like
Jalen Green just got beef with Cade. Cade don't be giving a fuck about
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Right.
No, I'm saying. So then they got but like as you like Cade is like more like smooth, like he gonna get to his spot. Jalen Green is just like a freak athlete that can do a lot of different things. Yeah. So
that
like they got
dunk was
two
fucking
very
sick,
different styles.
like, these motherfuckers are so athletic. Like that dunk was fucking sick. When he dunked, when he went around Cade and dunked, that shit was fucking sick, bro.
Bro, he had at least his shoulders over the rim. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Came off that bitch talking crazy too.
Like he jumped off a fucking trampoline or some shit, man. Like shit was sick.
Yeah, he tough.
Schwab, I need your take, bro. Your hot take. Something. Cook some shit up for me.
It's gonna be stupid wherever it is.
If we're gonna go really,
I want steaming hot. Guy Fieri.
Then my hot take would be, I'm going with Shane's take about the Nets not making the Eastern Conference Finals. Only I'm saying it about the Bucks.
Oh,
man, Giannis getting to the playoff, bro. You fucking crazy.
Yes, he's getting to the playoff.
Said not the
he said
conference
finals.
Oh,
Conference
my bad. I thought you said playoff. I was like,
No,
bro,
conference finals.
That's fair. Oh yeah, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Okay,
Uh,
I can see that.
all right, we're gonna move from NBA, man. Let's get into NFL. Um, some interesting stuff going on. Schwab, I think you had a message for what you calling Dr. Aaron Rodgers and Shane. I would love to hear your response of your team about your team's quarterback. So please, Schwab,
I
take it
know
away.
we're
Get your
yielding to Shane.
popcorn
He's going to
ready.
go first here.
What'd you say?
I said I yield to Shane. He goes first on this one.
No,
These are
get
his
your
guys.
point across, bro, and let Shane counter. He the Packer fan.
I didn't have a point other than, I mean, what he did was completely stupid. Like, my thing was like, I disagree with Kirk Cousins' views on the whole matter, but he was at least man enough to say it with his chest. Like, Rodgers stood up there and lied about it. And then he went on, who was it, Pat McAfee? Compared himself to Dr. King. So that was great. And don't tell me he wasn't either, because what was the quote? You have an obligation to not follow unjust laws. And he was talking about like segregation and stuff. Knock it off. Okay. Then he sees the blowback from all of that, says he's being crucified. So Aaron Rodgers, for those keeping score at home, is now both Martin Luther King and Jesus. And then so it was an absolute joy watching Jordan Love fall flat on his face. And I mean, I would legit like to know what the reaction from the actual fan base is right now after Rodgers' nonsense and seeing what you got coming down the pike. Because I mean, it ain't a great situation, but you almost got to put up with it as long as you got it, don't you?
Yeah, well, you're first of all, you're an idiot. Second of all, to the point, the Jordan Love thing, like the guy had 3 days to prepare for it. Like, what did you expect from Jordan Love? That, like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, should we judge Justin Fields for his game against the Browns? How does this work? Like, is that you
Did
don't?
Justin Fields have a year and a half to prepare for that game? Like,
Yeah, but he didn't.
Love's been sitting for a year and a half, and he came out looking like Trubisky with cheese.
Okay, but you can prepare all you want until you actually play the games. It doesn't matter.
Right, that was on the coach. That was on
Like,
head coach too.
Oh yeah, no, the Matt LaFleur hype train needs to
Relax.
seriously relax here. That was an awful game plan.
Yeah, well, LaFleur is one of the best coaches in the league. If you don't think he
Says
is,
who?
you're a moron.
Says who? He has Aaron Rodgers. Let's see what he does when he doesn't have Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, well, what was Aaron Rodgers before LaFleur got there? The last couple of years before that.
Oh, we know McCarthy sucks.
You're
Like,
just
this
you're
is-
just such a delusionally blind homer that you just like use the.
No, listen, I legit thought, first of all, when
If you don't think Matt LaFleur is one of the best coaches in the league, you're just an absolute fucking moron.
Hey, listen, well, fuck all that. Let's get back to the topic of Aaron Rodgers
What about him?
and his bullshit. Because
He's an absolute fucking moron. Here, let me finish here because first of all, Mike, you do a hell of a job as a host here. Don't ever have Schwab go first on any topic. He goes last or he doesn't go at all. So, all right, back to Aaron Rodgers. Absolute fucking moron. Like that, I was when I watched that. I watched the original live video. It was beyond cringe, and like just a complete just total bullshit. Everything that came out of his mouth was just complete bullshit. He knew what he was doing in that press conference when he said he was immunized or whatever, and then the chef's kiss was I called my good friend Joe Rogan. For those who aren't, like, I know everybody knows who Joe Rogan is, but he's essentially his podcast is a quack podcast. It's nothing but like pseudoscience bullshit that fake smart bros talk about. It's just complete garbage.
Yeah,
And
listen, I like
for
Joe
Roger-
Rogan a lot because he has people on for like all different kinds of stuff, and you never know what he's going to be talking about. But you're exactly right. When he delves into this kind of stuff, it's clear he has no idea what he's talking about. And
Yeah.
like the thing I like about Joe Rogan's show is like, even if it's something I don't necessarily agree with, he at least makes me think about why I disagree with it. This should be something that you should be able to pick up, dude. Like, he's got no clue what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I know. I disagree with that. Like, he has never said nothing and made me think like, man, I should really give this a shot because Joe Rogan told me no, absolutely not.
Let me take some
That guy,
and this
that guy is terrible. No,
this whole thing too that like it's it has a lot to do with society now. These people like Rogers and most of these like right wing idiots that they get caught doing something stupid, and their first line of defense is just blaming the woke mob, the cancel culture. It's just a way for them. All it is a way for them to deflect getting called out for the scumbags that they are. And that's precisely what Rogers was. He was parading around, going to parties unmasked when you're not vaccinated. Like, that's a shitty ass thing to do, man. Like, for what you don't like, how are we this far and you don't realize the vaccine isn't necessarily for yourself, it's for other people. You know what I'm saying? It's your job. It's our job in society to protect other people. You know what I'm saying? This is public health. Like, it's a fucking vaccine. Like, it's, then they talk about, oh, well, you're taking my freedoms away. What, or you're canceling me. What freedoms? Last I checked, you're still getting how much money from the Packers this year? You're going to get traded next year, and you're going to get how much money from that team? You're canceled, yet you're on the Pat McAfee show with how many millions of listeners? So, like, how does that equal getting canceled? Like, it's just such fucking bullshit because you're a selfish scumbag. And it's not just Rogers. How many millions of people are there like that now? It's unbelievable. But I'm not, all that said about Rogers, like I said this before the season, I'll say it now. It's over. This is before the vaccine crap, before any of this. This is the last year. This was always going to be the last year. It is what it is. We've had the argument on here about one Super Bowl, this, that, and that, whatever. It's time to move after this year. It's time to move on. Like that. That's just the way it is. You're gonna.
Can I make one point to that?
Go ahead.
Like one of my guys, he was just talking about like these sports leagues. Like, do you really think that all these billionaire owners would not want their players to take the vaccine when they only care about the product on the field and making money? And so like if the vaccine was so terrible, then you wouldn't have all these leagues coming out saying, hey, get tested, and then make sure that you're safe, and then go get the vaccine. Like, they wouldn't be doing all these things, telling people to basically be safe, because all these billionaire white guys want the product on the court, on the field, on whatever, so they can make money. And so for anybody to say, well, they just doing this, blah, 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 like all the regular people, like, your life is yours, right? And so you can do and say whatever, but for these teams and for these players, like, you are part of $1 billion industry, whatever the case may be, and we don't want another shutdown. We don't want a bunch of empty stadiums and this and that because we lose money. And so, like, for people to be saying all these things, like, think about money. If you think about money, then you will understand why everything that Shane just said makes sense.
Right.
Think about money. Quan, I hope you heard that. Think about money.
And to one of Rogers's points too, like, so for like everything he was saying about the vaccine was false too, right? Like, he wasn't even speaking facts. So, like, he said, well, these vaccinated guys are still getting COVID. Yeah, idiot. The vaccine, the point of vaccines isn't to necessarily stop transmission or stop infections. It's to prevent you from severe disease and death. And it is to lower symptoms, right? So, like, Davante Adams, when he tested positive, he didn't even know. Like, he had no symptoms throughout the entire thing. The only reason he tested positive is because under the NFL's labor agreement that Rodgers was part of the people that agreed on, you get tested like once every 15 days or something. So it turns out he was positive. Had he never been tested, he would have never known. Rodgers, on the other hand, had symptoms. He was unvaccinated. So like Devontae Adams and millions of other people were able to kick COVID like it's nothing because they were vaccinated. And it's proven that you are contagious for a lot less longer than an unvaccinated person. So like to see him parading around these parties with no masks, and the settings, you guys saw the pictures, and in bar, wherever kind of events there are, no mask, no nothing. And like, you don't give a shit about your team. Like, I know you don't care about your family. That's cool. But you don't care about, like just other people in society. Like, and then you try and like, justify it by, well, my doctors and my buddy Joe Rogan. And, it's just honestly like, there's,
Nah, bro, I'll just take some horse paste. It'll be fine.
you don't look to these guys like, I'm 33 years old. Like, I'm not looking for a fucking role model from an NFL player. But when you realize like, God damn, dude, I've been rooting for this dude for what, 15 fucking years. And this dude is an absolute fucking moron and a piece of shit. And it's like, it is what it is. And I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite and lie. Sunday, when he says green 18, I am going to root for him to throw touchdowns. I am going to root for him to score more points than the other team. And when this season ends, life will go on.
You know what? As a Packer fan, I mean, you being a Packer fan to come out and openly say those things, I appreciate that, the honesty. As somebody that's been an Aaron Rodgers fan since the moment he stepped in the NFL, I don't even know what to think of that man after. And it's not even some of the shit that y'all talked about. It's more like you play a game, and after the game, you're shaking hands with dudes. You're telling them good game in their ear, knowing that you unvaccinated. Like, like Kevin said, at least Cousins was, man enough to say it with his chest. You got Wentz. You got Carson Wentz, who's on the sideline. He's wearing his mask. So you got all these guys that's doing what they're supposed to do, protecting these other players. And then you got Rodgers just carrying along like he free, like he can do what the fuck he want to do. And so he didn't care about nobody other than himself. And then when the heat come down on him, he rushed to jump on a podcast, and thank God for McAfee. And that even at one point, I think McAfee even laughed at him. He tried to hide it, but the common thing
nonsense from Rodgers.
The common thing with Rodgers is Rodgers always, the blame is always placed on somebody else. Like, yep. I've never in life heard that man say, "This is on me."
Exactly. What did he do the first time? He threw Alan Lazard under the bus.
Yeah, so it's like
it's fantastic leadership, dude.
Yeah, it's a common thing, but also too the whole narrative surrounding this whole situation. When you get a situation like Kyrie Irving, the whole media called this man dumb. Stephen A. Smith went crazy on him. Yeah, like that 2 week span of Kyrie Irving was just complete nonsense, and Kyrie was just speaking his piece. If he said he come out and said, I don't want to be vaccinated. That's his choice. It's a stupid ass choice, but that's his stupid ass choice. But when you got an idiot like Rodgers who out there pretending I'm immunized, like, come on, bro, get the fuck out of here, man. Like,
and that's the other issue.
And for him to be fined that little bit amount, like the Packers should have got hit hard. That should have been a draft pick. That should have been a bigger fine than what it was. And they just it's all about that bottom line. They want to get him back on the field. If they slapped him on the wrist and said, "Good luck, get you back next week." I think
CeeDee Lamb got fined $20,000 for his jersey not being in for that game, and then Rodgers got fined $14,000 for putting everybody at risk by being stupid for 8-9 weeks.
Crazy.
And Ben Roethlisberger had a 6-game suspension for rape reduced to 4.
Stop.
I lied, and I didn't hit the fucking button fast enough.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong, but we ain't on that. Aaron Rodgers, I traded for you week 6 of my fantasy league. I fucking traded for him. And changed my team name to save me AA Ron because I was on a 4-game losing streak. I was fucking 3-4 or something like that.
We should have known for a while that Rodgers is a fucking idiot. Okay, so you're one of the best quarterbacks ever and you've been like that for years, right? and here's two of the women in your life, Danica fucking Patrick and this little twat Shailene Woodley. Like, who's next? Marcy Darcy? I mean, good God, dude. Like, you're a multi-millionaire and you get like some of the ugliest looking women in the world. Like, there's something wrong with him in the head. I don't care. He's a fantastic football player. Nobody will ever say otherwise. But like,
Didn't he date that one actress? She's like Asian American.
Olivia Munn. Yeah, she was fuckable, but like the other two, like were Shailene Woodley. Like, no, like if you serious, like they started pulling the Shailene Woodley receipts after this Rodgers interview. Like, she eats clay, and like she's one of these these fake deeps, natural healers and shit. It's just, oh my God, the whole thing is just, this is something like I would expect from like an idiot like Russell Wilson or something. But like Rodgers, like this kind of hit me like, what the fuck, dude?
Damn, wild to Russell Wilson.
I'll just say, what did Russell Wilson do?
I know he hate Pete Carroll, but why Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson is
Well, he had the was it the wacko views with he what did he say? Something along the lines of God told him it was his mission to bring Sierra to God or whatever it was.
Yeah, and then he was drinking
dang, why all the God hate?
The concussion water. He was drinking some sort of special.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, we not gonna diss my boy Russ. We already got an idiot member who calls him a glorified running back. So let's give my boy some love right now.
Oh, those were dark times.
Thanks, PJ.
No, I don't
get that nigga his money, Quan. Oh, my bad. Wrong check. We're gonna move on some more NFL. All right, so do the Chiefs really suck, huh? So I was wrong, y'all.
They fucking suck. They fucking suck, yo.
Yeah,
I was wrong, y'all.
I picked them to like win. But
I was wrong.
like,
I've been investing my money. Like I always invest in futures, and like I'm gonna keep doing that shit because I'm in too deep now. But goddamn, man, they suck. They suck for real, huh, y'all?
The Bills suck too. Do the Bills suck too? Because of apparently too. Like I don't like who in
the like the Ravens, maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna just I'm gonna say the Ravens. Who? Chargers, but Chargers. The Chargers been real inconsistent too. Yeah. Like they just been over there. Like, and the Ravens, they defense give up so much. Like Lamar got to do like so much. I'm not really so on the Titans because I want to see them for a longer stretch without Derrick Henry and see their defense has been playing better this year. And they actually got somebody that can rush the passer, which they couldn't do nothing last year. But I would just say the Ravens because of the Lamar factor, and they mess around to get the number 1 seed. And he's been throwing the ball a lot more accurately. So I would say the Ravens, but I don't know, man. Like those teams, I'm not really sold on like everybody.
Everybody can agree the NFC is miles better than the AFC. Like it's not even close. You could probably make a case that the four or five best teams in the league are in the NFC.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
I would.
I think that
you really could make
the NFC
Cardinals, Packers, Bucks, and
Cowboys,
and the Rams.
Hell no, the Rams.
The Cowboys out of here.
The Cowboys too.
I wouldn't think the Cowboys. I don't think the Cowboys better than the Bills or the.
The Cowboys probably got the best offense in the NFL.
Some weeks.
Yeah,
true.
They got everything. What do they do on offense that any other team? You know what I'm saying? Like what are they doing that another team is just leagues ahead of them in offense?
I don't think anybody leagues ahead of anybody in any category this year. So I think it's going to be a fun year. I mean, I think the Cardinals offense is better than them. I think they we have
Cardinals is. Cardinals the one team I'll give you.
But other than that,
and I've seen the Cowboys do it a little bit longer. That's the only reason why I say Cowboys. That's why.
And Rams too when they bring their game.
The Rams got a fucking best upgrade, like of probably the last 2-3 years as far as a team that's been contending since the Rams were just in the Super Bowl 2 years. COVID threw me off 2-3 years ago, and they had fucking Jared Goff. So I mean, that was
Serious.
I
kind of
mean, but the
obvious.
Rams did what the Rams did what the Bucks did. Like they can go three deep wideouts. They got the quarterback. They upgraded their pass rushers. They already had a good pass rusher. Like they pretty much got the same thing that the Bucks did. Only thing is that the Bucks ain't got like a shutdown corner like Jalen Ramsey. But
It's
also the Rams ain't got them linebackers like the Bucks. So they pretty much mirrored what the Bucks did.
it's a fair concern though. It's a fair concern to say, you know, we've never seen Matthew Stafford in a real important, you know, game like with pressure on him, because let's be honest, man, like
Yeah.
that team has gone they've shoved every single chip they got in the middle and said we are all in. Like they have no future to look forward to. They don't win this, like that's a 2-year type.
Serious friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Super
that's a-
Bowl or bust. Like
Oh,
Super
yeah.
Bowl win or bust.
right, because like with their
I disagree with that
No,
No,
win the
it ain't.
division first.
because
Super Bowl, Super Bowl
the
win
Super
or-
Bowl is the hardest championship to win. Like every
No,
week we come
no,
on
it
this
isn't.
podcast or you listen to all
It
these
isn't.
what do
sports.
you know it isn't? Hold on, he just said
I mean, you got they got to get to the NFC Championship game, but you can't say you in a world of the NFL of winning a Super Bowl, the hardest championship to win. Everybody on this podcast said the Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl, and these motherfuckers might not make the playoffs. Like
I didn't.
it's
but-
hard to win
I
in this
didn't
league.
say the Chiefs were
17
going to
weeks.
the
It's
Super
hard to
Bowl.
get
No,
to
I
the Super
didn't.
Bowl. So yeah, you do invest everything and now winning now, but it's like it's hard to say it's Super Bowl or bust. Like if they get there, that's an accomplishment. I know we don't ain't no moral victories and none of that other shit. I get what you're
No, it
saying.
ain't. They just got there.
get what you're
Like
saying.
they GM said that pretty much. Like they have no picks for the next 15 years. Like they gonna be capped out, whatever. Like it's Super Bowl win or bust. Like Mike just said it. They was just there like three years ago, and then they was not like good in that game. Like they scored like 3 points. So they can get back there again, and then everybody know that you is all in, right? So like the guys that they got this season, like they probably won't even be there next year. Von Miller gonna chase that bag, and probably Beckham too. And so like for them to try to be able to, come back with the same exact team, no, like the Bucks did it, but because I don't know what they GM did, but the Bucks was able to bring back their whole entire team. The Rams are not gonna be able to bring back their whole entire team.
Like I don't know how many times we've talked about this. Like the NFL playoffs is a bunch of good teams in a single elimination, high variance tournament. Random shit happens. You know what I'm saying? A tip pass can ruin your season.
Right.
It's hard to win. Prentice said it. Prentice said it perfectly. It is really fucking hard to win the Super Bowl, and it's really fucking hard to get back. Like I said this 100 times on here. Patrick Mahomes, statistically, by the eye test, whatever you want, just had the greatest 3-year stretch out of a quarterback that has ever played the game. That is fact. That's not an opinion. And they got one Super Bowl, and they're not going to get back there this year. So like it's you know what I'm saying? It's like San Francisco 2 years ago, P-Jack. Like your defense was on a whole another level. Like that was just utterly absurd.
Right.
And you lost. And now, it's hard, man. Green Bay 10 years ago, Super Bowl, and they haven't been back since with Aaron freaking Rodgers. Like it's fucking hard. And I mean, when it's an interesting debate though, because like you take a team like the Rams and they are going for it all, and they're not setting themselves up for any type of future success. Like they're probably going to have to, after this window closes, it's going to be a rebuild, right? Because like look at all the veterans they have on the team and the guys that they're just not going to pay. So like this is it's Super Bowl or bust as far as what they're trying to do for as far as like the personnel that they brought on. And I think they would even say as much.
So,
That I agree with. I just hate that whole Super Bowl or bust.
I hear you. I hear you.
So I want to ask everybody for their mid-season Super Bowl winner, and then Schwab, I want you to speak on you saying that NFL Super Bowl wasn't the hardest championship to win.
This
So I'm gonna start with my pick.
ought to be some
If
high.
he-
Because Schwab can't go first, so I'm gonna start with my pick.
Schwab said it wasn't the hardest Super Bowl. He said it wasn't the hardest
He
championship to
didn't. He
win.
said, "Yeah, I want to see what his thoughts is after this pick, real quick."
Okay.
So NFL Super Bowl pick, I'm still riding with Kansas City Chiefs. They 5-4. They still got the best player on fucking earth ever, quarterbacking. Him, Kelsey, and motherfucking Tyreek Hill. They gonna find a way to pull this shit out. And let's get Josh Gordon on the field. Josh Gordon, I know you watching, bro. You've been a nice watcher for us. I done had your back all this time, bro. Put the blunt down, bro, and go get you a championship. Hey, this is the 2021 NFL. This is a passing league. They still got the best goddamn pass in the league. They a fucking running back factory. Everybody know that Kansas City and shit. Andy Reid and been there. He know how they can do it. So fuck it. I'm still rocking with the Chiefs. Anybody can go.
Not after watching that Packers shit last week.
Yep.
Hey, they got to win. Win is a win, right? Any given Sunday.
I'm sticking with Tampa. I think Tampa is Tampa. They can still rush the passer. They still got Tom fucking Brady. They got players all around them. Like, that's my pick.
Tampa is good.
I'm still riding with the Rams.
You did pick the Rams.
That's your pick before the season?
That
Yes, it
was
was.
his pick.
I the Rams beating Buffalo.
Yeah, because you ain't had the Chiefs going. Okay.
I picked Chiefs and Bucks, but then I picked the Chiefs to win. But I'm gonna change it to I think the Bucks is gonna win. I don't want to see them win, but yeah, I think they're gonna win.
Shane?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of hard to pick against the Bucks, right? They have what you need to kind of win in January. Like I think Prentice said, like with the linebackers, like their defense has been kind of shitty so far.
That secondary concerns me.
Yeah, but everybody's got holes. Name a team that doesn't have holes you can pick apart.
Yeah, but that's a really big glaring hole. And you got
Not when you can rush the passer.
of it. The Packers
Not when you can rush the passer, bro.
You got a quarterback that throws 3 interceptions in the NFC Championship, and he can still get to the Super Bowl like Tom Brady. It's gonna be. I'll say this. I'll take whoever comes out of the NFC, I'll take. I don't.
So I mean, is it Bucks against the field? Like, is that damn near what we doing?
No, I'm not.
No, we're not there yet.
No.
Kind of, anybody that makes the playoffs in the NFC, except whoever probably is that.
Probably gonna be like the Saints or the fucking Falcons or somebody.
Somebody like that has no chance.
For
But
Daryl Patterson entire season.
Any of the other teams have
all pro this year.
At like 4 different positions. How good?
Dallas, the Rams, Green Bay, the Bucks, they all have legitimate shots. Arizona, sure. I mean, any of those teams that if any of those teams could win, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't, I would let's say this, I would give anybody okay, you can take 2 teams in the entire league. I'll take the field.
All right, so Schwab, Prentice said the Super Bowl is the hardest championship to win. You said no, it's not. What's the hardest championship, Schwab?
The Stanley Cup.
Mute him.
Mute the crack.
Fucking mute.
I don't agree with that because the Stanley Cup is who gets hot. If you got a hot goalie and you can get 2 goals down, you can win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, but you got to win 16 games, and it's not like the NBA where when was the last time an 8 seed won in the NBA? Has it happened since 2012 when Rose got hurt?
I don't believe so.
Exactly. 8 seeds can win in the NHL.
And why? Because they goalie get hot, right?
This is a fluke ass league. That's why. That's why
it's hard to win. That's what you got to win 16 high variance games. That's why it makes it harder to win. And I would put the NCAA basketball championship ahead of the Super Bowl in terms of difficulty to win too.
Okay,
I don't think it's harder than the Super Bowl, but I do think that is the next toughest championship.
Single elimination tournaments are always going to be harder because there's less room for error.
Correct.
Like,
but in like the NCAA championship, for the most part, if you're a 1 seed, you got a free win. Like you basically have a automatic bid
I
to
got to
the
win 5
second.
more neutral site games.
how many times have we
Yeah.
seen?
Yeah,
Like,
it's neutral.
If
It's
you're a
neutral
one
site game,
seed,
but
you're going to
you
be in a
still get
region that's
teams.
closest to your fans, and it's college. It's
Exactly.
college basketball. Your fans are going to travel, and they're going.
Exactly.
You got fans, 100 years worth of fans coming to travel to you. It's going to be a fucking home atmosphere, different realms. But if you that good of a team, you're going to win those close games.
yeah, I
And
mean,
Shit, even
when you get to the
fucking
when you get
games,
to the Sweet
even
16, you got to fucking bring it.
right, even
But
fucking
it's
games in
hard.
Indy. You go to fucking Indy
NFL
during March Madness. You
NFL is
got
the only
Louisville
sport
fans
where every
everywhere.
regular
Michigan.
season, like you can be trash, and we've seen these runs. You can be trash in NCAA regular season and go fucking get hot conference tournament and get in the postseason. NFL, you got to earn that shit all year. If you don't win 8 games, you don't win half your games in the season or better, like you're not going. You don't even have a chance at the postseason. So
And you
just
and
getting in the postseason is more difficult in the
and,
NFL,
and you got to stay
even with the
healthy.
17. And you got to stay healthy. And that health
Yeah, I mean,
shit
if you
in
want
the
to
NFL is
argue Super Bowl instead of um NCAA tournament, yeah, but like I said, Stanley Cup is harder to win.
Go to
You got a
hell.
bunch of people disagreeing with you, Schwab. I can't hold you. Maybe we're not big enough hockey fans, but I don't know because
yeah,
Go to hell, bro.
it's hard.
I get
Go
muted.
to
I get
fucking hell. We talk about Patrick Mahomes. We talk about Aaron fucking Rodgers. We talk about all these fucking great quarterbacks who got one Super Bowl, and you gonna fucking stand up here and say the Stanley Cup is harder to get the fuck out of here.
Bruh, Dan Marino,
the
0
fuck-
Super Bowls. Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees have 1 Super Bowl each. Those are 2 of the greatest ever. Like, it's fucking impossible to win the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes, again, for the 1,000th time, greatest 3-year stretch ever. 1 Super Bowl. And he's about to, he's might not even make the playoffs this year.
And when Brady went what 10
Yeah.
years without winning one?
Yeah.
He went 10 whole fucking seasons without winning one.
Yeah.
He's really Aaron Rodgers 2.0. It's like his defense is letting him down, falling into kind of a rut. He's got the 1 Super Bowl ring and an annoying little brother.
Have you watched their fucking offense this year?
Who?
They're equally as bad, bro. Yes. They suck.
Oh
Yeah,
God!
They
that's
suck.
all I'm saying.
They ain't
I
just
watched
the
that
Chiefs.
game Sunday. Like, what in the
Yeah,
world was
Chiefs,
that?
The
yeah.
Chiefs putting up points though.
Some
What?
weeks. It's been a while.
Yeah, some weeks, yeah.
It's been a few weeks.
But they just scored 13, 16. What was that?
Yeah, they
What was that
just
last
scored.
game?
I think that was one of their lowest outputs of the season though.
Exactly.
They still
Against
are
teams
tops
Jordan
like
Love.
in the
Well,
league.
Packers defense
Damn,
though.
It's just the defense shit. It's just pitiful. But
They be hitting
Well,
this, man.
I mean,
I thought Schwab was gonna talk some college sports when he's talking about his championship. So I was trying to segue into that, but he said NHL, but we ain't gonna talk about that shit tonight. We're gonna talk we'll shift to some college basketball.
I thought he was
see
coming with some lies.
Prentice repping his squad over there. Prentice, man, you about as big as a college basketball fan as I am, man. So what you like so far? What you been seeing, man? Talk to me about some Duke UK Coach K last season. Talk to me about Chet Holmgren. Tell me some stuff that you know what I'm saying we need to look out for. Talk to me, bro. It's that time of the year, man.
One, fuck Coach K. I'm gonna start with that. I'm happy
Damn, in his last year, why the Coach K hate?
Fuck him. Fuck him. I ain't gotta hear him bitch about somebody else players after this year. That shit dead. Fuck his old ass. You know what? And what's crazy is he might go out with a fucking win. The freshman Duke got the thing I'm looking forward to is the fucking freshman. Like, here we go again with another good ass class of freshmen. Amani Bates look good. Chet Holmgren look good. The boy from Duke look good. Like, that's what I'm keeping my eye on is the young boys out here. I don't give a fuck about these upperclassmen that'll fall mid first round. Like, these freshmen gonna carry you every year. When you got a good freshman class, you got some superstars that college basketball get hype. And I think we gonna get that.
Hey, talk to me about the Dukies. Talk to me about what you see, what you like.
You about to slurp my man from Duke. Go ahead. Well deserved because the boy got game.
I'm high on this team. I really am. It's kind of they brought in obviously the freshman and Paolo. He's the number one hype guy, right? But they got that guard Keels, who was killing Kentucky the other night. Like, that dude is strong as fuck. Like, I think he was rated like 19th overall, right? So obviously not as much hype, but he's just one of those guys that his stock's just going to rise like immediately. And you saw it on display the other night. And then you bring in a transfer like Theo John from Marquette. Like that's a goon right there. That's a guy that's doing the dirty work down low. Like, like that. I love that pickup the second it was made because I watched a lot of Marquette basketball. It's a good team. They're big, they're physical, not that well coached, but that's a whole nother story. Just as being a Duke fan and
Wait, you said Duke wasn't well coached?
They're not that well coached in the year 2021. Yes.
Oh,
I'm ready.
I know. I think Duke. I think Coach K gonna have a problem coaching old boy for the season, like because he gonna go out there and do his thing, and they ain't what Coach K accustomed to. Like,
if there's an issue, I look at if there's a something to pick apart on the roster right now, it's that there really isn't much 3-point shooting. So like they're gonna have to be pretty. Their style can work. Like when you just look at basketball now, like look at the Baylor Gonzaga game last year. What did Baylor do? They were obviously freakishly athletic. They defended the perimeter and they shot threes. Like if you're not doing that,
but them niggas was different.
That's right. But that's style. But that's right. But that style is kind of what you need to win a championship. And, Duke doesn't, I guess you could say right now they don't really have that. So they're going to have to kind of be really good everywhere else. And they can be. But I guess if there was something to say, all right, here's my concern is there's really not much 3-point shooting.
It's early. Kevin, let's hear your trash ass Michigan take. I know they almost lost to Buffalo. Let's talk about it.
You don't know shit about Michigan basketball, dude. He used to hate on Beeline all the time, who took that program from
the fucking greatest coach in Michigan history.
From the projects to one of the best teams in one of the best programs in the country. And Juwan Howard, who let me guess. I assume you have a bad take on Howard because they didn't win it all last year. Let me hear it, because that was your criticism of Beeline. They didn't win it all.
No, my criticism with Beeline was he parlayed a championship game appearance in 2013 into nothing. Like the recruiting didn't get better.
Every single year is nothing.
What?
They contend
every single. No, he missed the tournament. They got to the Elite Eight the next year, and then missed the tournament the next two. In grand fashion, one of those years, lost to something called an NJIT one of those years. But no, I got nothing but love for Juwan Howard. Shout out to Cleveland.
You know what? That You went to the national championship game twice. I sit here for years, been talking shit to Mike and Shane when they fucking lose in the tournament to fucking who was it they lost that year to old boy from Portland.
McCollum and Lehigh.
Yeah, Lehigh.
I mean,
then they lost to somebody else another year. Like that shit.
Mercer.
It's college basketball. You just talked about college basketball being one of the hardest championships to win.
No,
so if a top team get beat, it happens. But
I totally
the two
understand
national championship games. What are you talking about?
Bro, he got Michigan. That used to be
Michigan.
It used
Michigan, to be what? They went the second time was like a 7 seed.
No, the second time they were.
Who beat them that year? Was it Duke?
Villanova won the championship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Villanova. Then that year they beat
Dante DiVincenzo. Shout out White Dante.
Oh yeah, that's why Kevin hated him. But we knew that already. And then that year they lost to Louisville on a possible controversy goaltend.
Yeah, it was a good game. It was like
got a shit like glass, but
yeah, your Beeline takes were always completely idiotic. I remember when you said that you hated how he turned him into a 3-point shooting team. Now let me guess, if I probably tried to search your name in Beeline, all the tweets would be deleted, just like your Justin Fields ones, wouldn't they?
Shaw, did you delete your Justin Fields tweets?
No, I deleted I used one of those tweet eraser websites.
It makes no sense.
I got like 3,000 of them.
Like I did, where you'd have to probably delete something so you wouldn't get in trouble. You never use any type of offensive language.
Right. Once again, and you never answer the question. Why would
you always call people
why would you delete non-offensive tweets?
That should be funny.
I need to know, why would you delete non-offensive tweets? Like, why? None of your tweets are offensive. So, like, I need an explanation.
Like, you don't say anything that's out of line.
Just abundance of caution.
Oh, Justin Fields?
No, I said I mass deleted like 3,000 of them.
Bruh,
How many tweets do you have?
if he has like 56,
A lot more.
I scoped him out the other night.
How many?
Yeah, like he has like 56,000, so he deleted a whole 3K of them.
Okay, so okay. So you targeted what you were deleting. So come on, it's bullshit.
How far back did somebody search though?
Oh, I was on it. Trust me. Every thread that you were had, that Hollywood TR guy was frying you. I almost followed him on my burner. What does that say?
We can't see that.
Okay, here, let me read it. This is a Schwab tweet. For the record, I want a Beeline can if they didn't make a run in the tourney in 2013, and that worked out okay. Jesus.
And you know they went to the national championship like that next season.
Yeah, that was
that season. Yeah,
that bomb 3 against Kansas. They knocked off Kansas, who was loaded that year.
You remember though, they were coming off of crap in the bed the previous year against Ohio. And
that Ohio team was damn good.
Yeah, Ohio was good that year.
Seed.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Sit down.
Ohio was good that year.
No, they were a 14 seed, weren't they?
Prentice know how good they was that year.
Sweet 16.
Prentice know how good they was that year.
Them motherfuckers was good. They played Baylor nigga ball. They was tight. That's why they beat y'all. So cut the shit, man. I don't know what you be watching sometimes, man. Like it's like I don't know if you put Michigan on this pedestal. Like they don't recruit at that level, so they don't. It's
Juwan does.
I think yeah, he trying to. That's why a lot of these programs are going to these guys who played and love their program because they think they can get those type of players. But Beeline did, and he did an outstanding job at Michigan. To say otherwise is crazy.
Yeah, like that was. I mean, he came from West Virginia. He was a coach of that famous tournament Kentucky West Virginia team with Pitt Snoggle and.
Oh my God! It beat fucking John Wall them that year.
Yeah, dude.
Was it John Wall? They beat
No. That was a different team. That was Huggins. Beeline was before that. Like Beeline was the coach of that the team that had Pitt Snoggle and Gansey. That was a while ago. Like they came out of nowhere.
They had another
Pitt
dude.
Snoggle a fucking household name, man. Kevin Pitt Snoggle.
Yeah. I thought it was another dude that went in the first round off that squad. I can't think of his name, out of West Virginia. Anyway.
DJ, college basketball takes. You texted me about money the other day, and I wanted to ask you why the Michigan State hate, but
Yeah, Izzo a clown, but that's another story for another day. What P-Jack said, man, just waiting to see about the freshmen on who actually gonna be good. Imani Bates been like the #1 player since he was like in like 6th grade. Then Chet Holmgren came out of nowhere. Of course, Duke got a guy.
Get that Chet Holmgren shit out.
Well, Imani Bates still would have been #1, but he reclassified to this year.
No, he wouldn't. They had Chet Holmgren ranked over him.
Yes, because Imani Bates reclassified. He was originally supposed to come out of high school next year.
All classes. They still do an all-class ranking. They had him #2 last year. They had Holmgren #1 high school player in the country. I saw it. I got mad when I saw it.
Holmgren trash, P-Jack?
He's not trash, but I mean, he came out of nowhere. He had a good AAU game against Imani Bates, and the scouts went crazy. Like, oh shit, this white boy can hoop. Get the fuck out of here, man. Imani Bates been out there. Been out there for like 4 years.
To see him play, but I know Gonzaga plays Duke next month.
Yeah. They play Black Friday.
Ranked number. They just said him like
Black Friday, Mike.
Yeah, I'm going to the game.
Where's it at?
Yeah, it's in Vegas.
Wow, dude, that's fire. I knew it was a neutral court, but I didn't know where. Oh,
yes,
they gonna kick y'all ass too.
Need my press passes. So holla at press passes. I go cover that.
P-Jack, no, they had Holmgren as like the #1 overall pick in the draft. Like they was like the early mock draft. ESPN did one today.
Yeah, so
I was just like,
I assume
like,
they did. I assume they did that because he was the number one high school player in the country. But I mean, he can play. I don't want to knock his game, but he too frail. He need to put on 30 more pounds, man.
They said that about KD.
Yeah, but that's like
KD was different though, man. You saw KD in college.
I did. I see him in college too and shit. He looked damn good. So
He don't look
7-footers who
KD
can pour it
I'm
in
not
like
saying he
that.
KD at all. And I know that's like
once-
they try to make that the comparison. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is the NBA shit, you can be lightweight and fucking succeed. Now it fits you better to put that weight on. Look at Giannis. Giannis down there put on 50 pounds of muscle and shit. He fucking unstoppable now. But
He still
that
can
ain't gonna
shoot.
stop him from getting taken first, I don't think. But I like Imani Bates too. I think
I
Imani
agree.
Bates the
I
real
agree.
deal. I think he could be in the NBA right now at 17. Like he's real.
No doubt. I mean, like Holmgren can play. I don't want to take away from the dude. I mean, they put him number one for a reason. He get buckets. I mean, him and that Gonzaga team got a lot of players coming back, adding him to that team. So they're gonna be tough. I mean,
another thing, like predicting who's going to win the NCAA tournament is hilarious. Like that Gonzaga team last year was one of the best teams I've ever seen, and they ran into a buzzsaw in that Baylor. You know what I'm saying? Those athletes and the way they defended, like that was just,
Baylor was tough too. People just didn't want to give.
Baylor had Remember, Baylor was good, and then they had
a stretch in April, like or February. When it was in March when they lost to Cunningham, he gave them the business in the second half. He went stupid on them.
Because Baylor had like a 3-week stretch where they had all these COVID guys. You know what I'm saying?
Top of the year, Baylor was like I had picked Baylor. Like I don't know if we talked about it here or not.
You didn't trust Drew to get them over the top. Like
every year, that was the thing.
Every year
I wasn't fucking with Scott Drew. I thought it was just gonna be one of them years where a good team. This is probably the best team he had, but in that tournament, I didn't know because I ain't seen enough offense. But it's college basketball shit. You can lock down 30 seconds at a time, shit. You can win. That's what they did. So I don't know. I don't have no predictions either, Shane. I feel you on that. Of course, I'm rocking with Duke, but I don't know, man. It's some good teams out there, man. Memphis got a really good team. I think people sleeping on.
Yeah, they loaded. I mean, it's some good teams out there that just
Michigan's really good again.
Purdue got a good team, man. Michigan,
Purdue is good too.
Man, there's some good teams out there. It's so early to tell. The young freshmen, they take a while to get going to really show that the experienced teams don't come out on fire quick.
Yeah, we'll get a little bit more in depth once we get in the conference play and talk about some of these bigger matchups too as they come. But definitely looking forward to seeing Chad Holmgren, Banchero from Duke, a couple more cats. I like this cat Jabari Smith from Auburn. I think he gonna fit into that stretch big type that that we kind of see in the NBA we was talking about earlier. I like him.
Yeah, they got him ranked like number 5. They got him like as a top 5 pick.
Yeah, he's solid. I watched some of his hoop mix type shit, and he's really solid.
That's the profile of an Auburn player, like what they've produced from Bruce Pearl in the last few years. I mean, there's high level athletes that can just take hold of the game.
All right, we're gonna shift gears, man. Damn, Schwab, I can't even call you first, man. Shane made the rule, man. I don't make the rules. He made that one. So I'm gonna go with Prentice. Talk some college football. What you seeing, man? I can't ask you about Florida State no more. I be feeling bad about the I be wanting you to talk about your team, man. We always be talking about our teams and stuff so much. I can't even ask you about them. Damn. So tell me what you like. Is anybody better than Georgia? Is it just spoken for? Everybody's just playing for second place. What we got going on in college?
I mean, I'm sticking with my preseason pick of Georgia winning it all. I think everybody playing for second. The thing that I don't like is this fucking playoff committee. This is the biggest fucking joke I think I've ever seen in my life. And I can't explain some of the logic that they come out with every week and how they rank teams. Even you go back to Michigan State, it's almost like that game didn't exist. So it's fuck them, move them back, don't matter. I know sometimes ESPN like to set up their rankings to set up matchups So you get them primetime games and primetime people gonna tune in when you see 2 top 10 teams. But like for the fact of Bama being still ranked second in the country is absolutely crazy. You criticize Cincinnati. You criticize Cincinnati for what they doing, but yet you keep rewarding Alabama for what they doing. It's just Oklahoma's still out there. I've never been a fan of them. Won't be a fan of them. I don't like what they're doing, but it's just I just don't like the rankings and how they doing shit. And it's just I need some better understanding. It's almost to the point where they fucking it up on purpose so we can expand. And I hate that. I don't want an expansion. If you do an expansion, make it random every fucking year. Go 6, go 8, go 12, go 2. Do what the fuck you want to do, but it's like they purposely fucking it up on purpose to get a reaction, and I don't like what I'm seeing.
Or is this like the NIU of the BCS when NIU played in the BCS ball game where everybody felt like Oklahoma should have been there, so they fucked that up, so they tried something different? Like, are we at that point where like they kind of jumping the shark? Because that's kind of what I'm hearing.
Well, it's like I like I said, I can't even explain it. I know there's some big games coming down the pipeline, so it really doesn't matter right now. You still got Michigan State and Ohio State. You still got Michigan and Ohio State. You still got Bama and some shit coming down the road. So I mean, there's just no excuse for Cincinnati to be not in the top 4. No excuse whatsoever.
Oh, I don't agree with that at all. Who have they played? Look at that.
Doesn't matter. That don't matter. That you have to play. It's not Cincinnati's fault. IU wasn't as good as they were. It's not their fault. Notre Dame is not as good as the preseason projections had them. That's not Cincinnati's fault. You have to play who's in front of you. You can say the same thing about Alabama. Who Alabama played? They beat Georgia by 2, barely. Should have lost. Could have lost. Florida sucks. They lost to Texas A&M. So who is Alabama beat? Who have they looked dominant against? Miami University? They trash. So like I said, you can't praise Bama and then knock Cincinnati because Alabama hasn't beaten anybody either.
It's like they've been using whatever logic kind of fits their narrative. First of all, like I understand putting Bama second if you're just going to come out and say, okay, eye test, this is who we think is 1, 2, 3, 4, whoever. But they're clearly not doing that the rest of the time. Otherwise, Oregon, are they still ahead of Ohio State?
Yeah.
They jumped them, I think, last week.
And I actually, a rare agreement here. I agree with your point there. They should literally just start throwing out resumes because they probably do that anyway, and just start by going, you know what, this is who we think is the best. Because think about it like this. If you lose early in the season, who gives a shit? They don't care. Ohio State lost at home as 14.5-point favorites to Oregon without Oregon's best player. And nobody even mentions that game anymore when talking about Ohio State. They just say Ohio State wins out, they're in. Does not matter. That game meant absolutely nothing to Ohio State. Now Oregon is still third, and Oregon lost to god-awful Stanford.
Yeah.
So like,
right.
Okay, and obviously I'm somewhat biased here because my future's on Oklahoma and they're 9-0. Look, I don't think Oklahoma is a prayer against Georgia or Alabama, but they should not be 8th. Like they're undefeated.
I think Oklahoma can beat Alabama.
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
Really? LSU should have beat them at home at night.
But okay, it's just not like you got to look at big picture instead of just looking at single game. You can't just pick it like that. Well, one game, this means Alabama's bad. I mean, Oklahoma barely beat fucking Tulane. So
I'm not saying it's guaranteed. I'm saying they can do it.
Like I think
it's great odds, but I mean, I'd give them a 1-4 shot at it.
I think Oklahoma beats anybody in the country except Georgia or Alabama, and they're the 8th ranked team right now. They're behind a 1-loss Michigan, a 1-loss Michigan State, a 1-loss Ohio State, and a 1-loss Oregon. Like I
don't think Oklahoma beats any of them teams.
Oh, that's that. They would be favored over every single one except maybe Ohio State. Guaranteed, they would be favored over either of the Michigan teams by at least a touchdown.
Michigan will run for 300 yards on them.
Oklahoma would no.
Michigan State would run for 300 yards on them.
Oklahoma would obliterate Michigan State. You cannot rely on your run offense and against a team that's going to hang 40 on you minimum.
That's a fair point.
Oklahoma's offense would roll would run Michigan State directly out of the building.
Who have they rolled, bro? They enrolled nobody.
But
They struggling. They struggling in games. They switch quarterbacks mid-season. They not rolling no fucking ball.
Michigan State rolled. They just lost to Purdue. They beat Michigan by 4. They beat Indiana by like 4. Then who else did they play? They beat Nebraska in overtime. Like, come on. Like, what are we doing here? Michigan, Oklahoma would.
You just named all them. You just named a bunch of games that they won against some solid opponents where Oklahoma has beat Texas.
Yeah, Texas. Okay, but I mean that's
Texas stinks.
But Oklahoma's hasn't lost a game.
Beat Baylor too.
How is Michigan State's resume more impressive than Oklahoma's when Michigan State has a loss on that resume and they're not even blowing out? Like, first of all, this is going to be a point because Michigan State's going to get trucked at Ohio State. So Michigan State won't even be top 10 in the rankings come the end of the time. But like, I'm just talking about the rankings right now. And you know, Oklahoma. See, that's the thing about Oklahoma. They got Baylor this week. They got Iowa State and they got at Oklahoma State. If they run
trash.
Oklahoma State's a 10th ranked
Oklahoma
team.
State not trash. Baylor not trash either.
Baylor's the 13th ranked team in the country.
They trash, bro. They 13th, but they not the 13th best team in the country.
If Oklahoma,
you know that.
If
you've seen that, they're not the 13th best team in the country.
But okay, but if Oklahoma wins out, they're jumping everybody and getting into the playoff.
Oh, no doubt. That's but you have to. You're not going to have that TCU Baylor situation with Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a different breed of a program. You're not leaving an undefeated Oklahoma out of the playoff. But I test if it plays out the way it can't play out the way it could because Bama or Georgia would have to lose. If Bama beat Georgia in the SEC championship and Oklahoma and Oregon and Ohio State all went out, Oklahoma's not going to the playoffs. There's no way. They're not jumping Ohio State and they're not jumping Oregon. And Georgia ain't going nowhere.
What you're saying if Oklahoma I didn't hear you. If you're saying
if Georgia loses to Bama in the SEC championship and the other 3 teams in the playoff went out, Oklahoma's not going.
Oklahoma would jump Oregon.
No.
Yes.
Not
undefeated Oklahoma.
Oklahoma would still have the best win of all those teams.
So they beat Ohio State?
At Ohio State on the road.
That's the only win they got, though.
Okay, I don't
matter. Oklahoma will have Oklahoma State, Baylor.
I disagree with that.
They will have Texas.
That's a trash league, bro. That league don't fucking matter.
And don't forget where they started in the rankings, too.
And the Pac-12 does? The Pac-12 does matter?
Pac-12 don't got shit. And they lost to Stanford.
Went to Ohio State.
Defeated Oklahoma team gets in over a 9-1 or 11-1 Oregon team as a Pac-12 champion.
Mike,
remember, they're also. Oh, that means Oklahoma will be the Big 12. Will win the Big 12 championship too. If we're talking about winning out, Big 12 championship weighs way the fuck more than the Pac-12 championship. Way more.
But Ohio State would have won the Big 10 championship, who got 6 teams ranked in the top 15.
Also true. Also true.
You Ohio State fan. You Ohio State fan.
You got that right. And that Ohio State win is going to be worth a lot because Ohio State is getting in. Ohio State is getting in. But I cannot have an undefeated Oklahoma team. There's no way that committee keeps out 2 undefeated teams. It's no way. It's no way.
Oklahoma controls.
That ain't happening.
They playing each other in the Fiesta Bowl. You better get used to that reality. That shit's about to fucking happen. Them niggas playing in a January 1st bowl game, and they're not going to the playoff. I feel bad for Cincinnati, but them 2 motherfuckers will play for it. Don't fucking matter.
I don't feel bad for Cincinnati.
Yeah, play somebody.
I do because last year they had the same criticism. They bulked up their schedule, and they still getting the same criticism.
No, they didn't bulk up their schedule. They put an IU team that had
Kevin, you hate fucking IU. So your logic when it comes to IU won't fucking matter. IU played good football last year. They played IU and they played Notre Dame. They played IU and they played Notre Dame. They took care of business.
Notre Dame's overrated too. What's your point?
It's not even about really hating on Cincinnati, but I'm just hating on Cincinnati compared to these other teams. Like I don't want to see like Cincinnati in over Oklahoma or Ohio State. I just don't.
For the sake of football, not the sake of resumes. for the sake of your football viewing, right?
Okay, well, we're talking. If you want to talk resumes, why is Michigan ahead of Michigan State?
I'm not talking about resumes. I'm not talking about. I feel like Michigan should be. Michigan lost the game. They should have won on the road. They should have won that game. They blew it. They lost, and then Michigan State comes back and lose the fucking Purdue. So I understand. I don't have the problem with Michigan being ranked ahead of them.
I think Michigan's a better team than Michigan State.
I 100% agree with you.
And that's why it's like, you know what, if we're moving towards this whole thing about just, eye tests and who we think is better, I'm fine with that, but we need to expand then we need to expand to at least 7-8 teams, maybe give a team a bye type thing and give more teams a chance, because then you're leaving, like, you're going to start leaving out teams that have good resumes. Like, how do you, to your point, if Oklahoma really went undefeated and didn't make the playoff, do you have any idea how broken this system would be? Like, we're talking about a major conference, a team that would be favored over any team in the country except Georgia and Alabama. Ohio State, Oklahoma is probably a very close spread on a neutral. And, like, you're going to leave them out for who? For Oregon, a team that lost to Stanford? It's horrible. Just because Oregon had a quote unquote good win at Ohio State early in the year,
quote unquote, bro, that's a great win. You went to the Horseshoe and you got a Mike. Speak on this. This is at Ohio State. That's not a baby ass win.
Okay, but
that's early on the podcast, early in the college football season, that was one of the questions I asked y'all after week one. I said who had the best win. And there was a reason why I asked that, because that shit matters down the line. And I want Oregon to keep winning, because y'all know I hate the term good loss, but that's going to be about as good as a loss that Ohio State can have to make their case. And it was early, and they still going to win the Big Ten championship. So it matters, and it's like I still can't let Oregon in over undefeated Oklahoma team.
Prentice, who wins on a neutral field, Oregon or Oklahoma?
I think it's Oregon. But back to Mike's point, that will play into his hand later in the season when we get close to the conference championship games. If, let's say, the committee Oklahoma runs the table, they're undefeated, they put them into the playoff. Now the committee's looking at Ohio State and Alabama. Well, Alabama got a good loss. Ohio State has a good loss to an Oregon team that won the Pac-12 that's in the playoff, where Alabama has lost to Texas A&M and now Georgia in the conference championship game. They're not putting Alabama over Ohio State in that instance, I don't think. So it's good wins and good losses matter. It matters in college basketball, it matters in college football.
Yeah, here's a perfect example. Ohio State had a bad loss against Oregon. I think everybody can agree with that. I think
they played bad. It's not a bad loss.
I think Ohio State is. I have them in Oklahoma about rated close to the same. So I have Ohio State as the third or fourth best team in the country. But if you look at their schedule, look at their resume, what is impressive about it? Like, who have they beaten so far? Like
Ohio State?
Yeah. Who's Ohio State beaten? That's like, damn, that's a really good team they beat.
It's going to be Michigan and Michigan State.
I agree what you said, but you make that point. You make that point.
Just beat Penn State.
Oklahoma.
They just beat Penn State. That was a good game, and that was a good win.
It's not enough.
Penn State wins that game. Shit, it's a different conversation. So,
that's my point though. Like, are we doing this on resume, or are we doing this on who we think is the best? Because if you ask me if I could pick any 4 teams for the playoff, to me it's not even a question. Georgia.
Hold on. Before you say this, are you going off what you want to see for your viewability?
Yes. For who I believe, yes, 100%. For who I think are the best 4 teams in the country.
No, not best 4. For you think would create the best the best matchups for viewability for college football.
My answer is the same for both of those. Yes.
Okay.
In no specific order. Well, Georgia number 1, Alabama number 2, Ohio State 3, Oklahoma 4.
I agree. Yeah.
That to me, that is the 4 best teams in college football. The 4 teams I'd want to see duke it out. And I believe that we would, no matter what you made it, we would ultimately end up with Alabama and Georgia. But like, I think those are without question the 4 best teams in the country.
I just need an explanation on Oklahoma. I mean, Oklahoma almost lost to Nebraska, the same team you knocked earlier. They almost lost to West Virginia. They almost lost to, I mean, they struggled with fucking Kansas the other week. Kansas.
Yeah.
So I'm not seeing it. I don't see it.
Okay, but who do you have that's better?
Oregon.
I can't go there. I cannot go there. I give them credit for the win at Ohio State, no doubt. That's no question. But you lost to Stanford.
This is one that I think, like, if you look in a hypothetical, we go to the end of the season. If Oregon gets through the rest, or not Oregon, but Oklahoma gets through the rest of their schedule unbeaten, there's not a case to put Oregon ahead of them. There just isn't.
Right. Yeah.
So what do you mean? How is it?
I mean, they will have beaten Oklahoma State. They'll have won the Big 12. Oregon will have beaten Ohio State and who else in the Pac-12?
Yeah, no, Kevin's 100% correct about that. Like, you cannot make an argument that if Oklahoma wins these next 3 games, which I will concede that it's certainly possible that they do not. They're only 5-point favorite at Baylor this week. It is certainly possible that they lose one of these next 3 games. And
who's a better team, UCLA or TCU? UCLA or Baylor?
Baylor's better.
Baylor.
UCLA or fucking Oklahoma State? Like
Oklahoma State.
Like,
you gotta watch the Big 12 football, bro. I'm down here, so I see that shit all the time. Oklahoma State and Oklahoma, that game is gonna be so fucking fire. I'm telling you, that's gonna be one of them top games that week. And that shit's gonna mean a lot for Oklahoma if they win that game.
ESPN gonna continue to shoot up Oklahoma State rankings, make it a top 10 matchup, make it a primetime game. We're gonna get the same fucking results out of Oklahoma State like we get every fucking year. They get beat. Oklahoma run the table. They're not good, man. They are not good. I like the freshman quarterback. I like seeing Rattler on the bench crying like a little bitch, but they aren't good, man. This is not your typical Lincoln Riley, Baker Mayfield, Jalen Hurts offense. They are. It's not. It's not. It's Oklahoma may run the table, but they still don't have a better win than Oregon going to the horseshoe to get a win. They don't.
But that's the only one they have.
They will not have it.
And they have a loss to Stanford.
Who's lost.
That's all right. That's all right.
This isn't Michigan.
You just said
State,
you don't penalize teams for losing early in the season.
And they come back, they'll have beaten Ohio State, they'll have the win over Michigan, and you can overlook the loss at Purdue.
No, you're way wrong.
Wait a minute, what?
I said this isn't Michigan State, where if Michigan State runs the table, then like, okay, so the one loss at Purdue, and that doesn't look like a great loss. But compared to Oregon, where they have
it won't matter.
One great win,
they're
the
best league. They're still in the best league in college football. So if they run the table, that loss to Purdue won't mean shit.
This isn't that with Oregon. The Pac-12 stinks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you could say that winning at Baylor and winning at Oklahoma State are not good wins.
They're not.
Well, I mean,
they're not. TCU fucking fired. Patterson's been there for ages. That league is garbage. It's not good football being played out there. Like I said, these motherfuckers they struggled with Kansas the other week. Kansas.
And Alabama.
They struggle with fucking
LSU, who's playing like all their backups at this point because everybody either hurt or left the team. They already fired the coach.
And I said Alabama didn't deserve to be in the top. And I said Alabama shouldn't have been number 2. That was the first point I made.
Very true.
It's gonna be if Georgia beats Alabama in the SEC championship,
then Bama's done. This whole conversation really won't even mean shit.
Yes, it will. Because what about Cincinnati?
That's what I hope happens.
Cincinnati should play people.
I do.
If they want to be in the playoff. I'm sorry.
I don't think Cincinnati Cincinnati's going to be the odd team out. I don't really see a scenario which Cincinnati makes it. The only way I could maybe see Cincinnati getting in is if, okay, Bama loses to Georgia in the SEC championship, so they got 2 losses. Then you would need a team like either one of Ohio State or Oregon to slip up and lose one of these random games they got coming up. Or Oklahoma to lose one, because I think those teams are going to get the benefit of the doubt before Cincinnati because they play in better conferences. That's just a fact. And whether Prentice thinks Baylor and Oklahoma State, these teams are garbage, the committee's not going to see it that way. And if Oklahoma's undefeated, they're getting in. If Oklahoma's 1 loss, they're going to be looking out, because you're right. They were not impressive in a lot of these wins. That is a fact. But Cincinnati, I mean, sorry, I don't feel bad for you. You don't play anybody. And you'd get rolled by any of those teams we just mentioned anyway. I would take any of those teams over Cincinnati. Oregon, Ohio State, Oklahoma, they're all better than Cincinnati.
I do want to apologize for calling Baylor trash. They're not trash. That was a little foul. TCU is trash. Iowa State is trash.
And
West Virginia is trash. Baylor is not trash.
TCU is my adopted team down here too, because I don't want to be an SMU fan. So I'm gonna fuck with TCU while I'm here. They trash as fuck. And I was down there gonna go to that game and I didn't. And that SMU loss, that really fucked it up for Cincinnati. Shout out to Helmer who pointed that out. I had to troll him a little bit to see why he said that, but yeah, that loss fucked it up for Cincy, really. So all right, well, DJ, you been quiet, dog. You got any takes, bro?
Cincy just don't have enough meat on their schedule, unfortunately. You said SMU loss? Is that what you said, Mike?
What'd you say?
You said SMU, that loss is what killed them?
I think because that was one of their best wins, and SMU, what they got 2 losses now, I think, or maybe even 2 losses, I believe. So that really fucked them up. Yeah, and we talking resume.
So, man, just go to 18s, man. That way we won't have to do this all the time. And I think they're gonna do that anyway. So I think that's where we are going. Just go to 8 teams and figure it out. Y'all gonna get more money. Y'all gonna have less complaints. You don't gotta deal with this committee doing whatever they doing, because this year has been really foul because stuff just don't make sense. So yeah, that's my really take on point.
But they go to 8 teams, and then I'm a Notre Dame fan. Shit, we 8-1. Shit, we need that 8th spot. Why should an undefeated Oklahoma team get it over us? They don't play nobody.
No, Notre Dame trash. So I wouldn't be listening to them or they fans.
We only lost to Cincy. We should be in.
So y'all trash. Don't worry about it.
The thing that I don't like about them expanding the playoff is then you're going to get these conferences that just going to focus on conference games and not playing non-conference schedules. And I dread the day that comes. You're going to get teams that, like Michigan, just focus on beating Eastern and Western Michigan. They don't play nobody. Then you get Ohio State, who will play at Oregon, or they'll play at Texas when they have Vince Young. You get them big-time programs that'll play somebody. That shit will be dead once they expand the playoff. And I fucking hate that idea. I really do.
But all right.
It's definitely coming.
All right, so everybody pick a college champion if it's not Georgia.
I'll kick it off. If it's not Georgia, then it's got to be Ohio State.
Yeah, if it's not Georgia, I'm gonna go with Ohio State. I just don't want to say Bama because F them.
Yeah, if Georgia continue with the rate, it might end up being Ohio State.
I'm not thrilled about if it's.
Just say it. We know as a Michigan.
Yeah, I know this shit hurt.
No,
it hurts for you to say, but just
no. I mean, I'm not thrilled about it either. But if it's not Georgia that wins it, it's Bama. I think that's the only way.
It's crazy, man. That SEC championship, Georgia's going to be playing with house money because they could lose that game. They're still in the playoff.
Still in.
Oh, it's
but for for them to knock for them to knock Bama out of it.
Oh, yeah, no,
Yeah.
right. I'm just saying to have that.
I agree with you.
To go into that game knowing that we're in our back pocket, we're still in this playoff no matter what. We're playing with house money. We're going to go out play loose. You know, we're the best team anyway, and like I think Georgia's going to beat them.
Man, how the fuck is Bama number 2, man? Like, what the fuck? Like,
Disrespectful.
yeah, it's like that might not even down there be a death blow. Like it should be a death blow, but god damn, man, that fucking committee love fucking Bama.
Yeah, that should be 4 at least.
Mind-boggling,
Like
man.
there should be
Like I guess
4.
I guess the argument would be is like who really, and I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying the counterpoint to what you just said would be who behind Bama really has that strong of a resume to be listed at 2? Who can you?
And I mean,
really
that's again that brings up that talk. Is it resume or who's the best team?
resume?
I mean, Bama's resume right now.
Ain't good.
Yeah.
Like Bama resume not the strongest either. So like y'all just going off I feel like they just going off a name and what they want to see and what they think, because Bama is struggling with these other teams that's like trash. And just because they play in the SEC this year, like the Big Ten is clearly like the best conference. And so like I feel like they
Well, the
getting
East
it.
it is.
They getting, they are getting in based on their name.
Yeah, man, I
Because you barely lose and then they bump you up. I mean, barely win and then they bump you up. Like
it's really a moot. The rankings is the point of the rankings is just for guys like for people to argue, right? Because like all this stuff is going to play itself out. You know what I'm saying? If Bama beats Georgia, they are in. If Bama loses, they are out. So it's you could rank Bama 2 or 4. It really doesn't matter.
Right. I mean, I that's been another point. Like I said, a lot of these rankings are bullshit to create big time matchups for TV ratings, and Bama has no business being number 2 right now. No business whatsoever.
Do you think could you make a case for any team besides Georgia to beat Bama? I know we're not talking about. I know you mean from a resume standpoint. I get that. I'm saying just hypothetical. Can you make a case for any team on a neutral field to beat Alabama right now? Besides Georgia, obviously. The answer is no.
I think you can. I think you can make a case for. I think you can make a case for Ohio State. I think any team with a veteran quarterback that's
Maybe
been there.
you can make a little bit of a case for Ohio, but Ohio State's defense really isn't very good. And
or secondary, but I don't think Alabama's is. Alabama got a few dogs on defense. They got a few players on offense. They not. It's not Bama from 2-3 years ago. It's not Bama from last year. It's just not the same team.
I almost wish Georgia wasn't as good as they were, because like then I'd be like, man, this would be the first playoff where you really have a feel like maybe 4 teams have a shot, right? But I just don't. I cannot make a case for any of those teams besides maybe Bama to even stay within 10 points of Georgia.
I can't make a case for any team. This Georgia defense is all time. So
That defense is all time elite, and their offense is good enough.
regardless who playing quarterback.
Yep.
All right, y'all, man. We're gonna leave it there. Good talk tonight. I know wrote some takes down, so we're gonna revisit them joints.
Kevin,
any last words?
Yes. Can we go to Kevin real quick? Kevin, with how everything is constructed right now, if Michigan beats Ohio State, are they in the playoffs?
Yes, of course. I mean, okay.
Why?
Are we assuming that they went out?
Just let's just focus on Ohio State.
Yeah, why wouldn't they be?
They'll win out, but let's just focus on. I mean, the west side of the Big Ten is dog shit. So winning the Big Ten championship won't matter. It's winning the division. So if they went out and beat Ohio State, are they in the playoffs? Yes.
Yeah, why wouldn't they be?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see how you couldn't. I mean, because that would include a win at Penn State and at Ohio State. Then winning.
It wouldn't be at Ohio State. It's at Michigan.
Okay, no, you're right. My fault. But still, okay. But still beating Ohio State and winning at Penn State and then winning in the Big Ten championship. Yeah, you keep them, you put them in because then you eliminate Ohio State, and then like I'm putting Michigan in over undefeated Cincinnati in that scenario.
What about Oklahoma?
I don't even understand the point of that question, because by that logic, like if Ohio State beats Michigan, are they in the playoff? Like I don't get it.
That's a stupid ass question. They're ranked right now in the playoffs.
So was yours.
That's a stupid fucking question.
The point, like
they're in the fucking playoff right now.
both teams would have a loss to a top 10 team.
I've been talking about good wins and bad losses. Like
yeah, I know.
So
and both,
I'm asking you,
both
if
teams in
Michigan
question
fucking beats Ohio State, do they get in the playoff? All
what kind of question is that though? Both teams would have a top 10 loss. The difference is Ohio State's would be at home, and Oregon wasn't even top 10 at the time.
That doesn't fucking matter. That doesn't.
Regardless,
that doesn't fucking
both
matter.
teams would have a top 10 loss.
That doesn't fucking
Ohio
matter.
State's was at home. So
Alabama
why does
beat
that question
Miami, and
apply to
Miami
Michigan
was
and
ranked
Ohio
13th.
State?
They're garbage. That don't fucking matter. That preseason ranking shit don't fucking matter.
No, it doesn't.
I
You're
asked
right.
a simple question. I thank you for your
And
answer.
I'm asking you a simple question. What was the point of your simple question? And why does it not apply to Ohio State?
What you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
I'm trying to understand what the point of the question was. Of course, whoever wins the Big Ten is going to the playoff.
Let's move on. Just shut the fuck up.
Everybody, we got a lovable bunch here. We have interesting ways to show our love. So check the outtakes. Remember, we'll release the outtakes after this episode. Peace.